Good day, ma'am. Good day, classmates. I am Marinjo and Ayugot, and now I am going to report about teaching English with projects or project-based learning or approach.
Project-based learning. According to the Bach Institute of Education, project-based learning is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time to investigate and respond to a complex question, problem, or challenge. Here, when we say project-based learning, it is an instructional approach to give students the opportunity to develop knowledge and skills through engaging projects set around challenges and problems they may face in the real world. So students are given the opportunity to learn, discover, and create throughout the entire learning process. The Bach Institute for Education identified essential elements for project-based learning, and collectively these elements are called Gold Standard Project-Based Learning by Schutz 2018. So there are 8 elements of this. Number 1 is significant content. So here it is focuses on important knowledge and concepts derived from the standards and targets essential understanding in the course. So students should find the content to be significant in terms of their own lives and interests. Number 2 is 21st Century Competencies. So here, students build competencies valuable for today's world, such as problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity or innovation, which are explicitly taught and assessed. The number 3 is in-depth inquiry. So here, the students are engaged in extended vigorous process of asking questions, using resources, and developing answers so that their learning will be deep and their vocabulary will widen and broaden. Number 4 is driving questions. So here it is a project work in which it is focused by an open-ended questions that students understand and find intriguing, which captures their tasks or frames their exploration. So they tend to asking questions so that they learn something, and also they will learn from those things that they didn't know. Number 5 is need to know. So the students are eager to learn, to know something that they didn't know, for them to gain knowledge, understanding concepts, and apply skills in the near future. Number 6 is voice and choice. So here the students are allowed to make or create some choices on what projects they should able to create and how they work it and how they use their time, guided by the teacher and depending on the age level and project-based learning experience. Number 7 is critique and revision. So here the students are give and receive feedback on the quality of their work, leading them to make revisions and further inquiry. Number 8 is public audience. So here the students are going to present their work with other people beyond to their classmates and teachers, so that in this case the students are able to boost his or her self-confidence. Well-designed project-based learning provides students with the opportunity to develop skills related to working in teams, managing projects, and holding leadership roles, oral and written communication, self-awareness and evaluation of group processes, working independently, critical thinking and analysis, explaining concepts, self-directed learning, applying course content to real-world examples, researching and informational literacy, and problem-solving across disciplines. Let's proceed to designing a project-based learning approach. So project-based learning focuses on the process as much, if not more than, the outcome. So here are some steps to help you to get started with project-based learning in your classrooms according to Leader in Me 2018. Step 1. Start with the state or national standards you are required to teach. So step 2. Then use the standards to develop learning targets from your PBL. So here it is focused on the standards that have longevity. So it is learning that is important beyond just this school year. And also look closely at the verbs for each standard. So standard that use verbs such as create, design, or demonstrate lend themselves to higher levels of learning and are perfect for project-based learning. Step 3. Next, create an essential questions. Can be more than one necessary that the students should try to answer throughout project-based learning. The question should be complex and should be referred to often. So step 4. Then develop the criteria that will show evidence of the learning targets. Step 5. Next, have a plan in place for giving ongoing feedback throughout the project-based learning. So here you will want to have a way to track the feedback you provide your students. It's also important to have a place for students to keep track of your feedback from their peers, as well as a place for self-reflections and recording any questions, barriers, or successes they encounter along the way. Step 6 is the next thing you'll want to do is have a plan for delivering important information. Therefore, some level of direct instruction will need to be integrated into your project-based learning unit. So here the students will be more excitement and they will be willing to discover and to try different approaches so that they will apply that one for their future someday. Step 7. Have a plan for conferencing with groups and conference events. So here you try and you tend to ask questions to your students so that they will reflect and own their learnings. If they will learn something from your discussion, or they will discover new information and understanding in that particular topics. Step 8. Next, make sure students have a way to share learning and reflection the process. So here the students must have a time to have self-reflection and reflection as a group. They should revisit the strengths that were determined for each learning target and see if they fail to meet and exceed the criteria. So the students have essential questions they've been trying to answer throughout the project-based learning unit. So now let's move on to the outcome of the project-based learning according to HIC-T 2020. So number 1, they learn project management. So here, even one used primarily by adult professionals to help students manage individual or team projects. Number 2, they grow more empathetic. So here it is a begin project planning with a significant audience or a specific audience with a specific and pressing concerns. So number 3 is they become hackers and rebels. So just like for example in technology addiction, so it is very important that we avoid and minimize that kind of addiction because it is not good for us and for all the students to be addicted in technology. Number 4 is they become system thinkers. So it is use concept mapping before, during, and after the project is completed. Number 5 is they become explorer. So here they discover, they explore new ideas, new information that they will apply in the near future. Number 6 is they become a problem solver. So here it is a project based that around a problem that requires a critical thinking to solve. Number 7, they become wildly and unabashedly. So here it is give points or other encouragement mechanics to reward students who deviate in some way that improves the quality of their work. So number 8 is they are more engaged in the learning processes. So here the students suggest their own checkpoints than he or she responsible for that checking in what kind of feedback that would be useful and number 9 they are ready for the creative economy. So here it is gives students the opportunities to use their specific gifts, skills and backgrounds in completing the projects. So number 10, they engage in iterative thinking. So it allows students to identify and transfer existing ideas into new contexts and applications. Number 11, they think divergently. So here it is the thinking outside the box by thinking differently about the box. Number 12, they make deep connections between ideas. So for example, concept mapping. It is a useful way to help students see the relationships between ideas. And the last one is number 13. They learn to take creative risks. So here the students brainstorm the opportunities for creative risk taking at the beginning of a project. Thank you and God bless.